It's a lot that goes into these single moments, like you said, that get decided by a coin flip sometimes, by a razor edge. That's the beauty of this game. That's why it is so romantic. It's because it is everything that happens before you get to this one chance to be the best in the world that makes it so unique. And Liquid, you are back on the precipice, as once more you might be denied that first place. You have no more wiggle room, but you do have a first blood on the Drow Ranger, and that is some momentum to gain back from that Game 3 loss.
They're going to need every advantage they can get in this Game 4 to come back in this series. Otherwise, it is going to be Team Spirit claiming the championship. Team Liquid do not want to let that happen again, man. It has happened far too many times to them this year to watch yet another grand finals slip through their fingers.
Hey, if you're Team Spirit, you were here before as well, and it slipped away from you. So one of these teams is going to get redemption, and the other will meet a familiar fate. And they have put their hopes and dreams into two very prominent and terrorizing carries. The Toro Terrorblade. That is a scary premonition. And then you have the Mickey Drow Ranger with a good matchup here and should be a good laning phase. He's going to scale really hard in this game. It's another one of those close late games that might come down to some Snapfire. Divine Rapiers could come down to some Brood Ratting. There's a lot that can go down in this ultra late, as both teams, in my opinion, have geared up for it. You have the Beast and the Brood, who can, in theory, create some tempo here. But so far, these games have gone the distance, and it'll maybe come down to some lane execution here, as Liquid trying to pull ahead has been favorable for them the entire series. So far, with that first blood, it's not looking too bad. Zai getting beat up a bit on the early laning phase from this reflection. We saw the panel talk about the answer to the Brood. I don't think the catch for the Brood is that good in this game, outside of maybe the Beastmaster later on. You don't have a Spear Breaker. The Shadow Demon pick was pretty defensive.
But if they can win the lane, which they will get the early kill, granted it's not first blood, but even being able to stop Boxy's attempt at a hard camp pull, it's going to be Team Spirit starting off great in this safe lane.
No, that is a kill you will gladly take every time, because it's so much experience for your Terrorblade and your Enchantress, who are going to use it so well and just ramp up the pressure. And you really want the early game to go well for the Terrorblade in this Brood matchup, because if he gets to his items later, he's going to be a beast. If the Brood takes away his camps and limits his farm, that is where Zai can start to pull ahead and scale himself. So that is a great start for the Team Spirit safe lane here. As well as Laurel doing pretty good mid with that Snapfire. That is a hero that has been difficult to counterpick the entire tournament. You go for a last pick Ember, knowing this lane's going to be tough, but Nisha will pay it back in that mid game. So you just kind of have to push through it. You just got to deal with the fact that Laurel will have a very strong early game as he continues to pummel Nisha with a dodge.
Dodges the Scatter Blast. That's an important bit of momentum in a melee versus ranged hero matchup mid on mid.
And the interesting thing about this game here is that I do think Liquid went more for, what do those fights look like, right? Like this Lich Clockwork, it can be really strong in those mid-game fights. You have initiation power, you have follow-up with a lot of AoE, Frost Shield, the Chain Frost. It's a lot you can just pour in, as Mickey will find Collapse on his own, just chasing down the hero.
Dude, Mickey has been so aggressive when it comes to harassing both of these heroes, killing boars. They might just get a second kill off this, but even if they don't, the damage has already been done. The Shadow Demon has been pushed back over and over and over again.
Yeah, both these carries dominating their lane so far. A second kill for Mickey. This is going to be so many early stats into this Drow Ranger. You also are getting the Lotus because you're pushing the lane into
my
the beast, so
YouTube
it's
channel.
extra mana regen for this Lich, who has a salve still left. I mean, this is a very abusable lane. The Shadow Demon pick, it's a little greedy. Like, it'll pay off later when you can purge the Frost Armor, help Yatoro take the fights with a save and extra illusions. But right now in the lane, Collapse is not feeling it.
But it's also not a hero that can help you close the gap, right? Because you have a range 4 position. It just means one less hero to be able to get on top of the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the Shadow Demon because I think there were options that helped them solve some of the problems they had in this game, but it is a hero they're very comfortable with and one that can help out the carry matchup later.
Well, they can get the kill onto Mickey here, but it's looking good. Yeah, the axes and the Shadow Points just builds up a bit too much. Insania, the Rocket Flare comes in to be able to finish off Mira, which may actually save Insania's life as he is going to be chased down, collapsed underneath the tower. He gets the kill first, so they don't get any experience for the Beastmaster kill.
That's really nice for Collapse. He gets all the XP plus his helm plus a free trip to base here. And he's going to laugh his way all the way to the bank. And his Boxy did collect that with the Rocket Flare. Pretty nice for him.
Yeah.
Level 2 Rocket Flare.
Which means
the edge.
Faster level 3, which is so important for the Clockwork. I mean, there's a big difference in the threat of Battery Assault that does 20 damage a hit versus the 45 at level 2.
And the boots. Boots are a big deal in that hero.
True.
The downside with this Clock pick is Clock Brood is not really a thing. Like, you can have a Lion Brood, you can have a Hoodwink Brood, you can have a Grimstroke Brood. You know, Clock Brood is, I guess, you're Battery Assaulting into a Silken Boa. You know, it's just not there. So Boxy, he's probably gonna have to find his momentum elsewhere. Maybe gate rotation into bottom and you just run down the Beastmaster. That looks the most promising to me. Like, okay, sure, maybe your Brood doesn't get as much as I would want at the start of this game versus a very tough lane in Enchantress Terrorblade. If you can gank the Beastmaster, put him in a similar position, and accelerate your Drow Ranger off more kills, that's the payoff in this support duo for me from Liquid. I think the mid gank maybe is there, but I also think it's pretty ambitious if the Snapfire is winning the lane, which she is right now.
A lot of last hits there for Mickey, but it's going to put him in a bad position with the kisses raining in. He will be caught.
Oh, nice rotation from Laurel. Did not expect him to just instantly TP there with the ult.
Yeah.
Finds the Drow Ranger connection. Really nice for Collapse as he will have a free lane and more experience. Miposhka battling Boxy.
Boxy not going to die. He is okay tanking up some Ancients there. 6-minute power rune goes the way of Nisha, so he'll have a regen to be able to work with.
I like this positioning from Miposhka, though. Whenever you can get into this side of the map with the Enchantress, you just feel like a god, because you're going to get a big creep, you're going to steal it away from that camp, maybe mess with his stack, and then you have rotation potential to top or to mid here. It is something Nisha has to think about. With an enchant purging his shield or slowing him down.
The brawl continues in this bottom lane as they chase down the Shadow Demon.
No mercy on these side lanes right now as both carries are ramping it up. Yatoro did not find the Brood with his second meta, but he did find tower pressure, and they're looking for Zai right now. Yeah, he got the D-ward. I mean, hashtag worth, I guess. As Zai is getting forced off the lane here. Just doesn't have the lane partner in the Clock, but they'll rotate the Lich.
Yeah, I mean, with the extra bit of magic damage from the Lich, it might be enough. Zai's going to try and bait it out, and now's the turnaround. Oh, but Yutoro's a little bit too far back, so instead they turn for Miposhka. He needs to get on top of him with the lifesteal. Zai wants as much life back. He is going to get a kill, and he'll be able to play the lane, at least for a little bit.
This is where Liquid's lineup can strike really fast. This double support roam, it's something they've used before. They traditionally use it with the Crystal Maiden, but the Lich is pretty much straight back up there. It will enable Boxy on these melee 4s. I expect the double roam to continue as the Wisdom Runes get split here. Really just ramp up the XP for your two supports and enter that mid game with your team fight fully online. Whereas for Team Spirit, you're kind of happy just farming 3 lanes with your cores. You get a couple rotations out from Laurel, pretty much all you're looking for.
Another Scatter Blast dodge there. As Nisha, he's been putting a lot of pressure on Laurel. He's trying to kick him out of lane so he can actually take that tower with the Orb of Corrosion as quick as possible. And he's going at it again.
There's a boar here. That's a pretty nice boar rotation.
Yeah, it actually helps out quite a bit. Nisha, he does have that defensive remnant, so not too much to worry about
and
here.
They cut the supports off in the river.
Oh, the Sunder turnaround. Zai, he's trying to crawl back to the defense of the trees, but it will not happen. Meanwhile, Insania is going to be caught on the power rune as well. Nisha will be able to get the power rune, though. On the other side, it didn't actually spawn bottom.
Nice double damage he'll pick up, but Liquid are bleeding on the map. That Sunder, not something Zai expected early here. And another surprise rotation from Collapse. We've seen him rotate really early on these Zoo heroes, and they have paid off every time.
Look at this fast smoke from them. They get the immediate pressure onto mid, and then boom, right back to going for Mickey here, which he is going to be found, but not killed. Mira has to dive in a bit too deep for this one, because of the rotation of Insania, they give up.
They do get to cut the wave, and the Helmet Dom is done on Collapse here, so you can start to ramp up the tower pressure if you do find these core kill connections. And meanwhile, the supports from Liquid just getting split on the map. It's not where they're strong when the Clock and the Lich are isolated. That enchant making its presence felt here on the Ember.
Nisha's not quitting. He has the vision. He has another slide, a couple more of those, and he might just be able to get this kill on Laurel, which would help even up the odds here in the side lanes. Nice use of the Remnant to get the kill. Boxy, with a small assist, will be able to limp away and into his Tranquil Boots.
Nisha is exerting so much pressure in this matchup, just running him down with Flame Guard.
Here's that Mickey rotation through the gate, right on time to catch out Yutoro at this point in time. You have to be aware that that kill from behind is always going to be there. Every single one of these games, Mickey is trying this.
Liquid are getting way more value out of these gates right now. There's just no vision on it. None of these Hawks, none of these wards have been scouting these rotations, and it's paid off for Liquid every time. as kills are the name of the game. They drag their cores back into a decent position after Team Spirit pulled ahead in the CS department, and no Sunder to turn around that play. As Laurel will go bottom off the TP, looking for the return play on Mickey, but there's an observer here.
Oh yeah, they know the Ancients are being done. Nisha, he's gonna play and try and grab a good amount of this with the slights. Gets a little bit.
I mean, these Radiant observers are doing work right now on the map. They're just seeing everything that Team Spirit want to do.
Team Spirit are trying to sandwich them. Laurel doesn't quite get there in time, though, but the Ancients, the rest of them, will be claimed by Collapse as a result. And maybe they could get Boxy. Boxy going to turn around some decent damage with the Chain Frost, bouncing back over to the Enchantress. If he can land on the Laurel, they can get this kill, and Boxy can get out, and that's exactly what happens.
Some pretty nice bounces in the end.
Oh, look at Zai. He's just immediately, okay, we killed the mid laner. Finally, let's take this mid tower away from them.
This is pretty surprising that the first tower to go down is this mid one and not top. Zai's had issues forcing Yatoro off that wave. He's stood up there, been pretty strong, and continued to find a lot of farm. Level 8.5, top of the board here. Surprised at how well this Terrorblade was able to stand against the Brood with potential gank rotations. They only really caught him that one time. That's going to be a nice tower to take away here. Something we've seen Liquid prioritize whenever they have this Ember Spirit, just going to Nisha mid with that Orbital Corrosion, taking the tower down, and free up the power room control to go to work. And it'll be a quick smoke to bottom, utilize this Drow's really high level off some of the earlier kills, and shut down Collapse again. He has no boots. It's a very slow hero.
Yeah, the dangerous part is once you've taken that, Burge is going to be used on Nisha, so this is going to be a little bit dangerous for him. Boxy immediately TPs out and does manage to get away. Team Spirit somehow limit any losses there, despite a 4-man gank and a wraparound from behind. Thanks to no. Yeah.
Making his presence felt in these early fights. He wants to put this meta to use with the Beast Aura. It is not up yet, but you have the Helmet of the Dom Aura. You can push these buildings pretty fast between these two heroes. You're also pressuring mid right now. Kisses off a Cookie Tormentor with the Hadouken.
Oh, he gets the silence on him. Maposhka has to finish him off now and will be able to do so. Insania shows up, but can't really do much. Meanwhile, back over on that river spot. Boxy tried to hit him with the hook shot. With the help of Zai, they will be able to punish Laurel for this play onto Mickey.
Team Spirit's still feeling really good about this. They get that tier 1 bottom, they get pressure on mid, and they take the Drow Ranger out off that TP with Midas off cooldown for Mickey right now as he bought out for it. The extra economic damage. Haste rune in the river that Maposhka will grab. This is a big rune to take away from the Ember Spirit, who's had full rune control, as Nisha is just struggling with some ores bottom instead. A difficult point of interaction for him right now, as these ores are just not easy for Liquid to clear unless they bring the Drow Ranger in, or you're just like throwing a Chain Frost into the fight. These
Hurricane back in.
Strong.
Oh, never mind. Collapse doesn't have Primal Rory up, so no real threat there.
This Helmet of the Overlord is going to be strong. It's going to be really strong in the fight. It's going to tank up a lot of the damage that the Lich throws in. You can counteract some of the ores that the Brood might be bringing later with your own pace. In fact, Zai is not even going for the ores. He is just going for scale, as this might be one of those Echo Saber BKB Butterfly Brood games, and you just try and fight the Terrorblade or the Snapfire running in.
It does always seem like Team Liquid's part of their game plan is scaling on multiple heroes to try and contest Yatoro. I mean, they answer it in this game, Terrorblade with the Drow Ranger, but even then they say that's not enough. We need the Broodmother to be able to fight him too.
I think the tempo just didn't work out in that game 3, and it kind of killed the idea of it.
Yeah.
This is not a draft really designed to run you over. Even though it has the Brood in it, they're not really playing this Brood or designed it for a fast game at like 25, 30-minute or a high ground. This is, we're just going to scale, we're going to meet you there, we're going to outfight you in the late game. That's a tough call.
Even when you just saying that kind of makes me laugh. We're going to outfight you, Team Spirit.
Yeah, it is.
TI winners.
I mean, I commend the audacity here, if you want to call it that. Not many teams have ever accomplished this task in these types of situations.
See if they can blow up the Shadow Demon real quick, pull him. Oh, not quite enough. The disruptions. He's going to come back and he's going to die, but it is time. Laurel, the Chain Frost fortunately doesn't bounce back to him again. The kiss is going to be used here. Boxy goes for a desperate TP out. That's not going to work. The Ember Spirit jumps away to the Remnant.
Got the last 2 hits.
Sania, yeah, it's going to be a long run for him, but I think he's okay.
Troll Summoner without a net.
Yeah. Quick, raise the dead on him.
Quick, go back 4 patches and snare him. I don't think Insania's having much fun though.
No, he's like, I'm getting out of here.
Aha, I've caught you. Fall him through the gate. That's the chat. No, he wants to farm. I mean, too much time wasted for Collapse here, right? He's a man of the people.
Look
a
at
man of the neutrals.
Mickey's playing on the enemy side of this river. It's a very dangerous position to be in as a Drow Ranger.
The Midas will eventually help them scale as well, right? They are for sure just thinking about going late here and outranging the Terrorblade. And so far, they're getting what they want out of the map. I mean, Yatoro's huge, but Laurel really fell behind with all that mid-skirmishing. 4 deaths on the Snapfire. That will slow down your pace here. And it's a question of, can Team Spirit pick up the pace with Helm of the Overlord completed for Collapse? Pretty decent timing here. He's got a lot of Ancient stacks. He's cleared through them all. He rushed this over boots or any sort of early fighting item. Now it's time to put that to use. You really want to get these fights. Combining the Beastmaster and the Terrorblade are where Team Spirit are strong.
Another hookshot land from Boxy. Catches Mira again. I mean, you talk about Laurel having a rough one. Mira is also going to be run over by the Clockwork Broodmother Ember Spirit combination of heroes that can just get on top of the backline immediately.
This is where the support duo can really pick up the pace on the map, especially with Zai combining to all these fights right now. He's just going second item Lincolns. Very interesting early defensive pickup. There's not a lot of single target spells, I guess, is his idea. If you block one of these ults, it's decent value. You can also throw it on your Ember or your Drow. Should be good for most of the game versus the Sunder and the Roar.
Yeah, the only catch for him is Purge as well as... Yeah, this is a big move from Yatoro, and it's going to result in a kill onto Mickey. Great stuff, as long as he can get out, which it looks pretty free.
This guy is just so damn good. Like, what other carry player is going to be in your triangle at 15 minutes ganking you?
Seriously.
With a Terrorblade.
And I think another thing that I really like about Yatoro, probably one of the best players in the world when it comes to itemization on carries. Another jump on, and Mira just doesn't stop, man. This nightmare continues for him as Boxy has his number constantly. It might cost Boxy his life, or Insania rather, as Insania is the one targeted by the big bad army of the Beastmaster.
The Lizard will take him out. He'll get his revenge in the end, and they're worth about the same here as the summons all get cleared out. And Yatoro is happy with all this. He's just getting to clear through heroes, through camps, and he will rush a Scotty second here. So no Manta, no early BKB, just going to tank up and probably commit for the Roche with the Scotty timing.
Got him on the Rod of Atos with the cookie follow-up. Oh, the damage is close, but he gets off the slight. He doesn't have a way to get a Remnant out. Too low on mana.
Where did all his mana go? The earlier fight as Alara will catch up. Taking this Ember Spirit's life. The first death for Nisha, but an impactful one. As it's a Boots of Travel Snapfire that gets to clean it up and instantly join another lane shove on the other side of the map. Going for Zai. It's going to pick up the pressure on the map with this Boots of Travel plus all these Boars and Hawks.
You can't afford back-to-back pickoffs like this. Rod of Atos into the cookie, into the Primal Roar will ensure a second core kill for Team Spirit. Maybe Mira dies to the spiders. He's going to try and pop the... Oh, that's a smart move. Uses the smoke. No hero to dispel that. Clever move, Mira.
Nothing is free in a grand final here. As that is well worth it. That was a lot of gold if you claim that hero from the grave. We're all going to get chained up. He did get that Arcane Rune, though, so he's very happy about stealing some of these power runes away from Nisha. Like, these were his to get with that early tier 1 mid going down. That's your benefit of that extra map control. And man, has Yatoro pushed in these waves aggressively. It's constantly forcing someone back this part of the map, which, you know, Mickey's here, but he also got ganked here earlier. So you're not sure where the vision is right now if you're Team Liquid in terms of, is Yatoro playing off what he sees, or is Yatoro just an absolute boss? It doesn't care.
Yatoro, God. He's coming for me. He's coming for me.
No, this is like such a terrifying game, honestly. Yatoro God on a Terrorblade. He's just ganking you.
And I think his itemization is going to be pretty interesting, because we saw his Faceless Void Aghanim Scepter pickup. I mean, that paid off really well against the Naga Siren. What does he do in this matchup, Terrorblade versus Drow Ranger? Like, when is he going to get that blink?
Yeah, early Swift Blink could be interesting. A Hurricane Pike could also be interesting, which looks like what he's going for here. Silver Edge could also... Like, there's a lot of interesting pseudo gap close items that might let him get in deep. Yep. You can also just play for Roshan's with Aegis and try and go early high ground here, right? Force Liquid into a position where they have to respond with heroes that don't like coming back to the base in the Brood and the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, when you have so much momentum with a Beastmaster, this is beginning to look a little bit like a Beastmaster Dusa lineup that could hit your high ground at 20 minutes.
This is a scary push lineup. You have an Alpha Wolf in here from the Enchantress, double boar, Black Dragon, plus Max Inner Beast up for collapse, and of course you can create some extra Shadow Demon illusions. Little Shredder going to give you the minus armor. There's a lot aligning right now for Team Spirit. They don't want the Roach, they want your base.
Now they do have to go through Frost Shield. That is a big way to stall it up, and you've got Aghanim Scepter done on Drow Ranger. So unless they're getting a big pick off, I think that idea of early high ground is now gone out the window.
Again, they're happy to bring Team Liquid back though.
Yeah.
Like anytime you get this Drow in base, it's a pretty slow hero on the map. You just have to run back out to your triangle. It feels awkward. Maybe you're missing some little Midas cooldowns. I think Team Spirit are happy with that push. They'll back off, farm the whole map. Of course, Terrorblade and the Boots of Travel Snapfire not going to lose too much when they commit here and instantly go back to the other side. This will prompt a smoke from Liquid as they want to get something done with this Drow Ranger Ags.
This smoke may be read by the fact that the Terrorblade illusion stayed out in the bottom lane for so long. Nobody's showing on that part.
And that's where Team Spirit want to play, for this Radiant Roche. I mean, their wards are all down here. 4 obs committed from Team Spirit just to cover this Radiant jungle into the Roshan pit, and they will claim it here. Scotty Helm of the Overlord at 20 minutes. That is a difficult 5-on-5 fight with the heroes that Liquid have, who, I mean, it's only really the Ember going in deep. Kisses for some spiders mid.
Yeah, just trying to stop this tier 2 from dying. And it might have been just enough. Let's see if Liquid want to keep committing. They do take it.
Well, that was kind of rude that Nisha took the last hit after Zai did all the work.
That's kind of true.
It's a classic mid player. You know, Zai's here, he's sweating so hard in all these matches, clutching out victories, drafting for him, shot calling for him. He's the veteran on the team. This young guy just comes in and steals your last hit.
No respect.
There is no respect these days.
No respect for legacy. Another hook shot onto another support. Maposhka is going to get out of the cogs this time. Boxy, kind of an awkward position around the trees there with no follow-up from a core, so he wasn't super confident about it.
This feels like a game where Team Spirit are getting to do what they want to do, though I do think Liquid's chances in the late game are a lot better, right?
Yes.
I think last time if that game went ultra late, it's just impossible at a certain point. Here, you have a lot more potential in the bank, especially with this Drow pick. This hero's always very spicy late game. It's one of those carries where it almost doesn't matter what you play against. Like, there's nothing that really scales against Drow outside of some of these uber cheese picks, and even then,
oh, broke through the Lincolns and got him with the Purge. Can Zai get to the trees? No, he can't. Boxy, he's just throwing his life in there. Anything to protect Zai, but the Frost Shield, it's gonna be enough. Boxy, you are gonna pay the price, but you done good, son.
I died to 1 poison stat. That's kind of embarrassing.
Boxy, what'd you die to? Oh, you know. Just,
He knows what he died to there. Tanked the whole damn gank for his Brood.
Attacked 24 damage.
See, Boxy respects legacy right there. That's a
BKB for Laurel, challenging Mickey. And all he has to do is stall up Mickey long enough for his team to get here.
Point blank kisses, just shotgun him down. That'll be a 5th death for the Drow Ranger here. It doesn't feel like 5, but it really has been, and it's a lot of time off the map for a hero that really needs as many items as it can get to get over that threshold to push you into the late game. Because you might be looking at that next Roshan going high ground.
Hook shot onto the Aegis hero, that's going to be difficult. They want to see if they can take away this Aegis without having to overcommit, but an early Sunder from Utoro pretty much kills that idea unless you get some amazing Chain Frost with Nisha joining in. They're going to do some decent damage, but he gets a Force Staff away. No lucky bounces on that Chain Frost.
Yatoro just stands there and goes, "You don't hook shot me, son. I hook shot you." Takes Boxy's life.
It doesn't make any sense.
Nothing about this man makes sense. He has risen above the mortal plane in this game. As Team Spirit continue to rout Liquid on this map right now and accumulate a huge chunk of gold onto their cores.
Shout out to all the beautiful Dota fans joining us here in Riyadh. In the middle of this game for 7,000 net worth lead for Team Spirit, a 15-13 kill lead, and it feels like all the momentum in the world, but they still have to, in a grand finals, crack open a high ground TB versus Drow Ranger with a lot of spam behind it. There's a Lich that makes things difficult. There's the Ember Spirit slight spam that is going to be annoying.
There's a Glacier potential.
Oh my god.
I mean, you laugh. That thing's no joke in a high ground situation where you don't have a lot of gap close. it's not insignificant here.
I swear to God.
Yatoro looking for a shield rune. He
Whoa! Okay, he's just really trying to make sure Nisha can get power runes, I guess.
It's a big deal for this Ember. That is not an idle rune.
Yatoro's like, yeah, you saw what happened last time with that Sunder. You better run, Boxy. You better get Hound out of here. Yep, that's going to be another Sunder to bring down Boxy again.
Yatoro continuing to feast on the souls in this game. These are all hook shots on an Aegis, so you can't even really commit. Hurricane Pike done for the Drow as Zai pushes towards that Butterfly. These are going to be the big windows for Liquid to strike back in this game after this Aegis expires and try and push towards that next Roshan.
Yeah, but it feels like their net worth has been stalled out. I mean, Zai's been looking at this Butterfly for what feels like forever.
It's been in the works. That's absolutely for sure. I mean, once he gets there, it should be good for a while, right? I don't see Yatoro or any other hero on Team Spirit really getting Pierce anytime soon. Like, you're not going to get a fast MKB here. You need items that help you deal with the Drow Ranger.
No Bloodthorn or anything, yeah.
So, in theory, Zai can scale pretty well this game because he's just not going to be the focus in terms of dealing with him. Everything is going to go into the Drow, pushing that high ground and breaking the defense here for Liquid. Which is what it might come down to, a high ground defense. Can you hold on long enough to get to the ultra late game where that Drow Ranger can shine? Like you said, tough cookie to crack. I still like the fact that Team Spirit supports continue to just farm out this map. I think it's one of the big key factors in this meta.
Nisha playing with fire, but I guess he is fire incarnate. Will be able to draw some attention from Team Spirit and get away unscathed.
And the Ghost wave push for Spirit is why this Beastmaster was a first phase ban for Liquid, why that Darkseer was also one. They just play so well off pushing these lanes in, not showing too much, and then the second you're out of position, they strike. And right now you have Terrorblade Illusions, Enchantress creeps, Shadow Demon Illusions,
spotted Mira.
Beastmaster summons.
He is no chains for Nisha. Already used it.
Seems like Mira is just always TPing out of like random baited games.
Yeah.
Man knows his limits, and every time one of these moves doesn't work, you have lanes you have to respond to. As the Brood is the one having to deal with the lanes instead of the other way around right now.
A lot of Atos. Nice light dodge there on the cookie. Still got to be careful, though. He's going to jump away. Fortunately, there was nobody on his Spirit. Yatoro's going to spot him now.
It's kind of meta.
Yeah, he thinks with the Scotty he can catch him here. Nisha pops the BKB just in case, and he's going to get another Spirit on out. They're really chasing him, but I think Nisha, maybe he's going to be away. The kiss it. No, the Roar got there just in range from Collapse. Team Spirit, what is that? How did they have such a perfect read of the margins?
This team's just way too damn good. I don't know. This Yatoro guy, he has a different read of the game than anybody else in the world right now. The way he just goes into fights, goes into ganks, knows exactly the distance and the time he needs to commit on a kill. It looks so damn casual. Making it look easy on the map as he'll TP in and clean up a Boxy as well.
What you doing there, bud?
And now he has a full Silver Edge completed, so he is just going to run around invis and perhaps just set up on people. Do it all. I'll be my own initiation.
That lead. Yeah, it begs the question, like, Team Liquid, sure, your high ground defense is strong, but what if you can never get out on the map to find farm? As Mickey, he's going to have to TP away from... yeah, the big hit
just everywhere, man.
Yeah.
What? It's actually insane how much space and pressure he's creating with a single... No one's playing with him. It's not like there's some crazy train just running around behind Yatoro. It is just Yatoro. That is an insane heat map for a carry here. He has been literally everywhere. Yatoro says this entire map is mine right now, and I am ascending back.
And you can see he's playing the edges. He's just trying to keep away from the Terrorblade nonstop.
Yeah, all of those blue dots are running away from the red dots here. He has not had nearly as much room to work with. Yatoro chasing down the Drow, waiting for the perfect time to strike as next Roshan will decide a lot in this game. Do Team Spirit get it with their stabilized position? Double damage on Laurel. He is starting to scale as well as he just finds some decent lane cleanup while Yatoro is making the space. Almost level 20 and almost a Daedalus on this Snapfire. It's just going to be a raw damage build.
Hookshot just required to be able to save Nisha, perhaps. They are going to go for the kill, but the BKB from Laurel should protect him here as Boxy will not have that same level of protection. The Chain Frost bounce around a little bit more. damage done, but not damage that is going to result in a kill.
Zaya's Butterfly, he's very
Another
strong
BKB,
right now.
in fact, but they're just going to try and kite around this Butterfly Broodmother.
Yotaro
Now it gets
in
right
the
in,
back.
and here comes Yotaro straight to Mickey. Oh, that Force Staff isn't going to get you far enough away as Yotaro positions himself beautifully amongst 3 different cores, kills one, chases the other 2 away. In fact, if it wasn't for that Lincoln, they would have caught Zai too. The collapse is still gunning for it, man.
An absolute god right now as the second Yotaro shows up. It is like cockroaches into the night. Flee for your lives, and now he's pushing your base. They get another glyph, 50 seconds, no drow. That was a buyout for Mickey. How much does Yotaro want to push this with Aegis coming back up on that Roshan? He will back off. I think the correct play here, even with that drow dead. Do not want to throw a high ground fight versus a very strong high ground defense lineup. And the next objective's coming. And he just gets straight on top of Mickey, just walks in. Again, just makes it look easy here. Absolutely no fear.
If it wasn't for Insania there, Zai probably dies there. So again, the supports just giving up their lives to try and keep the cores alive. Team Liquid.
And this Frost Shield is what's allowing the cores to go in, but you have answers on Team Spirit, right? That's the beauty of the Shadow Demon pick. It wasn't doing much for you in the early game. It's not helping you catch the Brood, but it does help you win these core-on-core matchups because you just purge whoever goes in with that. It's instantly gone. You also have an enchant that can do it if you are not BKB'd, and you're going in first onto her, so you cannot rely on this Frost Shield to man up versus the Terrorblade. You just have to have enough damage that you can pump into him here, and so far, it has not been close as Yotaro has pulled a 6K gold lead off of this map. Laurel still looking for the level 20 talent, but he did finish the Daedalus and got the Quiver. And there's a lot of damage that Team Spirit can pump in right now, and both the cores are becoming a threat as well, right? Like, the Shadow Demon and the Ench are going to scale really hard in this game, particularly that Ench with the Beastmaster aura. It's a very strong combination. This is probably not a Roche you can afford to give up if you're Team Liquid. You'll have to fight through Illusions, Hawks, Hellbears, and everything else to find some footing for this fight.
Push through the Illusion, push past the Hawk, now into the Hellbear. One by one, they're clearing through these blockades. Laurel, interesting enough, is actually going to back out and push out mid first.
We've seen him do this a lot this tournament. It doesn't seem like Team Spirit are afraid of conceding a bit of Roche damage as long as he can get back there in time to reset and gain a lane advantage.
Yeah, when you have the vision of the Beastmaster.
Yeah, what's the downside here, right? If anything, it might bait Liquid in a bit, which, you know, I think Spirit are happy to take this fight if they can bait Liquid into the pit.
And Liquid is going to take that bait. They're going to try and take this Roshan.
And Laurel get back here. He's really far. Bots in 7 seconds.
Dying fast, but Yotoro's going to get into position. They got the collapse. Rebel Roar immediately onto the Drow Ranger, and she's dead already. Another Chain Frost going around, trying to go for Yotaro. They all are focusing on this Terrorblade, but Terrorblade, he's standing up 1 versus 3. They finally finish him off, but the damage has been done. Nisha on a sliver of HP is trying to get away, but the Kisses will finally find him. Zai, it's going to have to be through him, and it's going to have to be through the buybacks. His Drow Ranger did manage to get a buyback off of some gold there.
And Yotaro doesn't have it. He bought out for Nullifier in that fight, so there is no Terrorblade in this engagement. You need to clean up this Roshan if you're Team Liquid and take as many lives out with it as you can, because Laurel, he has level 20. He's here to play.
Here goes Zai. He just dives right in. He wants this fight. He wants to be able to kill as many heroes of Team Spirit and take this Roshan. An opportunity for a turnaround for Team Liquid. The Shatter goes out. Laurel, he's going to hit by the hook shot too. And Team Spirit, their greed in trying to contest this without Yotaro, without their carry, will cost them dearly.
Laurel could not get back to that fight in time. What turns out to be a bait in terms of forcing Liquid into the pit. Team Spirit rush it a little bit, and even though they get that Drow, there are buybacks straight into the Radiant Outpost here. As Mickey able to clean up the rest of this fight. The burst damage from the Snapfire is not enough yet to propose a big enough threat to deal with these cores on his own. He needs big brother Yotaro back into this game, but he did not have it for that fight as Zai makes his presence felt. The Butterfly Brood was heating up there, taking the damage to Yotaro. He could not stand his ground. He does not have Evasion Pierce. He does not have a Satanic. The actual fighting power of this Terrorblade, if Liquid are positioned correctly, they can manage it. It's not impossible by any means. That'll be a strong blow to strike here as you bought a huge amount of time for your Drow Ranger to continue scaling in this game.
Yeah, now you've got the level 20 talents for him and the Broodmother. Big damage upgrades for both of them. You have the Silver Edge now done for the Drow Ranger and working towards a Lincoln's. So he actually will have an option now for, if it's just Yatoro trying to go on to him. Yatoro's not going to be able to carry detection, that's for sure.
This game is going to go late. This is not an Aegis Liquid can use aggressively, I think, but it is one that will get them to the next set of items and perhaps next set of talents. There are a lot of really important level 25 talents in this game. Almost every hero between these 6 cores has ones that's very pivotal. You get to the level 25 on the Drow with the extra multi-shot or marksman, it's something that could just burst the Terrorblade down. Of course, extra Sunders. I mean, every 25 talent in this game is just damn good. The Brood, the Ember Spirit with the extra slights. It's going to be a race to this late game. Who gets to output the damage more freely in the fight. That Nullifier for Yatoro was also an interesting choice because it didn't really up his man-fighting power for that Roche fight, right? Like, it's good for some of the Dispel on Liquid's side, but it doesn't help him deal with the Brood. It doesn't really help him deal with the BKBs, and it's rare that you get on top of the Drow and the Nullifier makes a difference. I mean, in that fight, he just got roared down and bursted. Didn't really pay off for that fight. Might feel great later. Did cost you a little bit here as he
I feel like part of it is he just wanted to have more opportunities to kill Mickey solo.
Yeah, that's what I think. He was expecting the fight to go how it was earlier, where he just silver edges in, gets on top of somebody, and then you're absolutely gone. If that happens, yeah, that Nullifier maybe just wins you the game right there. Instead, that fight got displaced in a way where the Drow had some range and it forced the roar, and then you're caught under this Ice Spire, man fighting a Brood and an Ember. And the Nullifier does not help you in that regard.
Team Spirit, relentless on the pressure, even into an Aegis. They hit the high ground, force a reaction out of Team Liquid once again. Smoke across the map, trying to find somebody isolated. Nothing to be found, though.
Now this is an interesting pickup from Collapse. He went for the little Ancient Rumble Hide on his Helm of the Overlord. This is a rare creep to see, but it is a creep that gives you accuracy increase.
That is true.
This is something to help Yatoro deal with the evasion on the Brood. You have to remember there's a mischance on Silken Bola as well. If you land it on it, like, this is a big deal, an extra 40%. You land 2 or 3 more hits. That might make the difference in a man-up engagement for Yatoro. Team Spirit, they think about so many small things that go into these late game fights, how to boost up their carry and play through him. And it shows here as Collapse will give every aura he can, including an Assault Kuros, into that Terrorblade. They are just going to make this god a true immortal if they can. And it is down to Team Liquid to burst through him, bring the Drow Ranger damage, maintain a gap in the fight for Mickey. If Mickey gets gap closed, you lose so much damage. And then it falls entirely on Zai's shoulders to pick up the pace, as Nisha's probably going to be dealing with supports and contributing whatever he can.
A double damage. They leave it for Nisha.
He's going to bottle it.
Yeah, he wants to be able to have the DD for later because it's unlikely Team Spirit fight through this Aegis right now.
All right, this is definitely the highest impact DE. I actually think it's just better than the Drow here because you get the lifesteal on top of it too. The downside is there are a lot of purges on Team Spirit's side, so you cannot necessarily rely on this double damage having an effect in the fight versus Demonic Purge versus Enchant versus this Nullifier. Does have a Lincoln's on the Brood. Could make the difference here.
I wonder when he's going to go BKB, because at some point in time, they're going to be able to get through this Lincoln's. Is it enough protection, really, for him?
Surely this is a BKB game, right? I have a hard time seeing a 6 slot for this Brood without it. I guess there's a world you just tank up through something else, but this is not a hero you buy Satanic on, really. It's not a great Scotty buyer here. You could just go more damage with your own MKB or Daedalus. Swift Blink might not be too bad either. Just Swift Blink onto the Terrorblade and shut him down.
Yeah, maybe you're just trying to all in on just getting the fast kill, whatever that is, whether it's the faster damage or the blink to be able to kill a support in the back lines instantly.
I mean, Zai's item and choices are everything here. This could be another game where he tries to create some rat pressure action. Suddenly, this Brood is taking your buildings very fast.
Well, the longest standing veteran in this game. Choose correctly. 18 to 25, 9,000 net worth lead for Team Spirit, and the Aegis has expired for Team Liquid, but they are about to pick up a Lincoln, so in a way, an extra life for the Drow Ranger to try and protect her against this initiation of Team Spirit. But Yatoro has his own second life in the Satanic now, so now he can pop that and try and go toe-to-toe with the Broodmother.
This is about as strong as Terrorblade's going to get in this game. I mean, you can do some little fancy things at the end with an Ag Shard and, you know, maybe replace one of these items, maybe Nullifier with something like a Butterfly timing that can surprise Liquid, but he is peaking. And especially with Penta Edge Sword, the attack speed is there. This is where Yatoro wants to start taking some names. He's going to just run into Zai. He's own initiation once again. Yatoro will start it off and try and bring down the Spider.
Oh, Desperate TP, that's not going to work. The damage, way too much. So he's dead for 85 seconds. You know, with a meta popped from Team Spirit, they're going to try and force his buyback.
It's just so ridiculous how he just walks up to people in Silver Edge and brings them down. This is not something that should be happening this reliably. It's something that has made this game very close.
I mean, he put the fear in them early, and ever since Team Liquid have been running from Yatoro every single time he shows himself. They haven't been able to put up a cohesive plan to be able to stop his relentless aggression as it continues now in the tier 3 at the top lane.
Now his meta is running out, so this is a dangerous push to commit
but
to your
Laurel's immediately going to jump in with the scythe. Nullifier goes out, but the hook shot is the response. Baki's, he managed to get out immediately with the Ogre Seal Totem, so a nice jump in and jump out, and nothing was actually gained from that buyback. I think Team Spirit really wanted to try and make a go and see if Zai would click that button.
There's no way you use a brute buyback there when you know meta's running out. But the pressure from Team Spirit, they put you in these positions where you have to make a choice. And they're just seeing if you mess up, seeing if you make that mistake. It'll be Demon Zeal off the Shard for Yatoro as he continues his scale. No buyback on this Terrorblade right now as he just continually buys out in this game.
Are they ever going to find him when he makes these solo moves?
That's the
they
thing.
Push out again with the smoke.
A single smoke from Liquid, you going aggressive. There's a gem on Boxy right now that they stole from Aposhka.
Oh, look at Mickey. Mickey is in so deep. Mickey is surrounded by so many heroes. Mickey shows himself. He doesn't have a Silver Edge, and this is going to be bad for him. They try and get the Force Staff away. The Cogs thrown out. The Kisses are going to catch him. Now Boxy's on the run as well. Oh, no. Mickey tried to make a move without the entirety of Team Liquid and runs into the whole squad of Team Spirit. Now that's two heroes that do know how to buy back, and Team Spirit, they're gunning for it. This could be their opportunity to close out the series.
They smell the blood in the water right now, and they are just pushing down a lane. This Drow, like you said, 90 seconds no buy. Team Spirit are forcing the issue. Insania, you are absolutely gone off the crits.
They knew the Frost Shield is an important part of being able to stall out this game long enough for these heroes to come back. So taking away the Lich.
They're just going to go Megas here, but you know Yatoro is going to go Throne. There is no way this man backs off after this. He wants buybacks. He wants a game.
They do manage to get Mira immediately buybacks from both supports here. Zai trying to use the last bit of his insatiable hunger now to close the distance with Yatoro, but immediately has to just pop the Manta at the first sign of aggression and bounce himself away.
Move costs you your entire base.
And now without the Frost Armor, the Lich, he can't hold these tier 4s any longer. Yatoro is gunning for it. He's got the tier 4s falling fast to get the jump onto Zai. Primal Roar, and he's done for. He's dead. No buyback. Team Spirit have done it. They get their chance.